the City.
What's up, St. Louis City fans? Welcome back to another episode of Soul of the City. I'm joined by Jonah and Jacob for the second time on the pod. Hope to have more. Second time.
I love being back. Yeah, second time.
Oh, yeah. We popped out to the Armory last night to watch the game there. There was a big fan watch party. They had the tuba up there. They had
the brass band.
The big brass band. They came by. We gave them their love. It was good energy, though. It was fun. Highly recommend people pop out to the Armory and watch the game with everybody.
It's a very unique environment to actually watch a soccer game.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how much I actually like it, but it is unique for sure.
Were they doing the supporters chants the entire time?
Yes. They were, yeah.
The City Punks were the ones that were sponsoring the event, and they had the whole drum line on stage doing chants throughout the game. So
I can't say that everybody was really as into the chants.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We stayed a little bit further back, but I liked having the energy. It was reminiscent of a game.
Exactly. It's like a game light experience.
Yeah, light
High
version.
energy watch from home experience.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, let's get into the game. This is the third straight start for Jackson, Watts, Yarrow, and Adeniran, and we are 9 points in 3 games with that crew.
They're making it work for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I will say Watts, Israel Jackson, and Yarrow were all really good for the third game in a row. I will say this game, I didn't think Adeniran was that good.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed like a little bit of this might have been the coming back to earth game from the recalling from the loan, getting the win against San Jose, and then the amazing performance against Colorado. This one didn't quite have the same flair, but he was still productive for what it was worth, and we won baseline.
Yeah. Sure. Also, there's something to be said about the presence of a target man there and drawing defenders. We'll get into it, but late in the game, he did not get subbed until, or did he even get subbed? I don't think he even got a sub. I think he played all 90. Yeah. And there's a chance we'll talk about way later in the game where the high press is going on and Adeniran is still doing that in the 84th minute. So it's good to see. I know Carnell, he kind of commented on when we recalled Adeniran, he was like, yeah, he still has a ways to go in terms of fitness and getting back into it. But it was good to see him go 90, and it was good to see him stay pressing, even though he might not have gotten a goal contribution.
Yeah, and I mean, I was maybe being a little harsh. Obviously, he brings more to the team than just, assists or goals. Mm-hmm. But we can get into his specific chances that, I was mentioning.
Let's drop into the game here. The 7th minute, Toronto gives the ball to Adeniran in an attempted pass backwards. It looked like early MLS things, you know what I mean? That was happening to Klaus early on.
It was those bread and butter goals that we were getting from those high press, and just kind of, I feel like it was a little bit too much of a snapshot. He got in that nice position, didn't really get a hold of the ball, but first chance of the game, it kind of set the tone, at least for what we wanted it to be, but it didn't end up panning out that way throughout the first half.
I thought he kind of panicked in that. It was such a, you would love to see, if somebody gives a ball up right there in their final third, you got to capitalize, especially because I noticed he had Gioacchini to his right. Yeah. It was kind of a 2v2 situation, and Adeniran just he panicked and just shot. He just turned around and shot.
Yeah. So it looked like, it did kind of look like the goalie was off his line a little bit when Adeniran first got it.
Yeah.
But, he basically got the ball and turned towards goal and shot it without even looking up and looking where the goalie was. Because by the time Adeniran actually got the ball and, turned his body, the goalie was back and, covering the entire goal. So
that's one where I want him to be a little bit unselfish, look up, try and find that second run, because that's when those really dangerous chances get created. Sending the ball across face, hoping someone can get on the end of it, but
Yeah.
You expect more from him.
Yeah, we'll talk about it a little bit later because there's another chance that Adeniran gets that might apply to my point I'm about to make now a little bit more. But he was started on the left. The two strikers, Adeniran starts on the left side. Gioacchini starts on the right side. In my head, Adeniran is a full-on left-footed player, and he's got a great left foot. You know what I mean? So if I'm starting my strikers and I know their preferred foot, I'm putting them on the opposite side. if he's a left-footed player, I'm putting him on the right side to bend a ball.
Well,
right?
and like when you look at like the goals that he was contributing on his loan,
Yes.
where was it, San Antonio?
Yeah, yeah.
It's a lot of efforts where he's cutting in and he's curling
from
and
the
he's-
right side.
Exactly. He does have that ability to take that step and do that quick shot. But the being on the left side is, I feel like, a little bit of a new experience for him from what I've seen. But
And he just didn't get like the best. It was the 7th minute, and we were settling into the game. So the next major chance that happens in the 17th minute, Stroud plays the ball into Aziel Jackson in the middle of the park. He chops, he beats his man. It looks
He
so
sent
good.
him.
He's looking so good in the middle of the park, and he leaves him, and he passes. He leaves Gio and him in a 2v1 situation, and Gio is pretty much played clear in on goal, and you would love to see him do better, if I'm being honest. Like the one defender who was back closed Gio down quickly because he takes a touch. It's not like a one-time.
He was slow, for sure.
He takes a touch. The keeper closes him down. The last defender back closes him down. But it was a big chance for City early on.
Yeah.
The XG on it was 0.16, and the post-shot model was 0.42. So those are like pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good chance.
I was
right
going to
there.
say, definitely shows that he was in a position where he should have maybe created something a little bit more dangerous.
Yeah.
But Jackson on the lead up to that goal, it's one of the things I love about his game is just how quick he is for shifting the body, being able to get it out to that other side and just keep the attack flowing. And I feel like that's the biggest thing he's brought to the team so far since he's been introduced, is just like metronomic. He just keeps things moving at such a nice pace for the team.
Oh yeah,
He has a lot of energy when he has the ball and like going forward. I will say, kind of on defense though, if I did have to nitpick one thing, he doesn't really look like he knows where he's supposed to be on defense a lot of times.
What I feel like when I see like his defensive shape, a lot of times what it looks like he's trying to do is he's waiting for one of those central midfielders to put pressure and slow the play, and then he's looking to just kind of pick the ball off of whoever's got it. He'll often just kind of run through, and if he gets it, it ends up looking great because it starts really nice counterattacks, but sometimes he does end up just kind of getting little Boyd off the ball.
Yeah, somebody asked Carnell about that in his presser. He was like, "Well, why is AZ just not been starting this whole time?" And Carnell kind of alluded to that exact point. He was saying there's a lot of work to be done defensively for Jackson, but ultimately, like we're seeing. I said it to Jake in the middle of that game. I was like, we're seeing the emergence of a young star. It feels that way. I know we're only 3 games in, right? And we're maybe jumping the gun a little bit, but it really does look that way.
I mean, he's had 3 starts, and I mean, you can tell why he's being scouted by the Bundesliga and other teams in Europe. I mean, at the beginning of the season, he would get subbed on, and maybe he didn't look like he was all the way polished and ready to go. But I mean, just having the full 90 minutes or 2/3 of the game really, I feel like, does wonders for him.
Definitely.
After that minute, the 17th minute chance there, it was pretty much Toronto from then on.
They
for that half,
they turned the heat up pretty high, and I felt like for as not good as we were looking on the attack, our defense weathered that storm pretty well. Even though there were still chances that were being created from Toronto, we were just pretty much able to hold firm and just survive until.
And I think the chances we were giving up are exactly the kind of chances we want to give up, because it's a lot of like crosses into the box. Yeah. And then we would usually win that first cross header. And then if the ball did, bounce out to a Toronto player, they would take the long shot. But that's really like, it's better a long shot than, inside the box.
Than them winning the ball inside the box off the cross.
Exactly, and actually creating chances.
What kind of did concern me during that stretch of play from like the 18th minute to around like the 37th minute, pretty much till the half. What concerned me most was Marshall Rudy, Toronto's number 7, who Jonah, you pointed out, is 19. Yeah. Canadian nationality. Yep. He seemed to be there was a good stretch of play there where I can remember 3 distinct chances where he beat Watts on pace and on skill, and was able to get the cross in, which didn't really amount to anything, but he had a few shots on goal as well, like after corners or something. He was their most dangerous player in that stretch.
He was definitely showing kind of a level of dynamicness that a lot of that Toronto team did not have, beating players off the dribble and then just creating chances for other players.
Yeah, it makes me wonder, and I'll pose the question to you guys. What do you think the score of that game is if Bernadeschi and Insigne are in the starting lineup?
I mean, it's impossible to tell, I feel like.
Yeah, and so far, even though those players are very talented, so far the only one you've really been seeing making a major impact has been Bernadeschi throughout the season. Insigne does have good numbers, but he's also missed a ton of games, whether it be the beginning of the season through injury and now currently on
drama reasons.
Yes.
Yeah.
They both have 3 goals on the season. So
I mean, I saw a tweet, I think it came out of Carnell's pregame press conference. And apparently he was warning his players, like, or he said at one point that these players, like, even though Toronto is a heavily rotated squad when we face them, like, all those players are looking to showcase their skills and, like, fight for game time. So oftentimes that's going to be, like, a harder matchup than just the first team, like, complacent, you know, big name stars who are making millions of dollars. Like, it might be that 19-year-old who never gets to see the field who is going to try and put on a show so that he gets more game time. So
I thought he looked great. It just makes you think when City was playing and City 2 was playing in that next pro season, they saw Ezio Jackson and what he could do, and you just are always looking for the next player that would look good on the City squad. I'd be happy to have.
Next Pro has been a really good kind of proving ground since its creation last year to just allow these players to kind of get the foot in with the first teams of all these different MLS programs, and it's good to see.
Yeah, they asked Watts about that and Jackson about that in the presser, and they said that it really what it does is it makes you understand what it takes to be a professional, because they do everything that the first team is doing, and I mean, it's good to see these players putting on now. All of them came through: Yarrow, Watts, Jackson,
and even we still have like Max Schneider, who's I think still taking up one of the international slots on the first team, who's been loaned to City too, and it's just getting reps for a lot of these players and understanding the systems and what it takes to be a part of the program.
Yeah. There's one other moment in that first half that I thought, well, there's 2 more moments in that first half. In around the 29th minute, Gioacchini is on the break, and he has...
It's like a 4v2 for St. Louis.
Yeah, it really looked really good for us. We had somebody out on the right side. I want to say it was Jackson on the right side.
Yeah.
Adeniran was on the left, and Vasilev was probably in the mix there too. And Gioacchini just does not pass the ball, and he elects instead to flop outside the 18, doesn't get the call, and it just looks real bad. It looks really bad in that situation.
It looks really bad because it didn't come off. What he's been doing a lot this season has been generating those foul calls that have put us in like very good attacking positions from dead balls. But yeah, running when you've got open players left and right, and just kind of going a little soft to ground, ending the attack, no call. Everybody just kind of looks around after that moment and carries on. It hurt a little bit, but
it's hard to watch.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I mean, ultimately, I don't want him. Let's say Gioacchini's watching the pod. I don't want him to take that to heart. You know what I mean? Because it's so valuable to have one player who does win the fouls and win the free kicks and goes to ground a little bit softer, right? You know what I mean? But you would love to see the play continue there, especially when we had such an advantage in that spot. So,
and was the free kick opportunity earlier in the game? Was this before that moment? The potential handball call that we had.
That was in like the 12th minute. Yeah.
And even though winning this game, I gotta say I did not think the refs were very good. I felt like there were missed calls throughout the game both ways. But that's just overall the theme with MLS at this point.
It's crazy. I mean, so many people have come out and criticized the reffing in the MLS, like Wayne Rooney, Ibrahimovic, like they all criticize it, and it's just still the same. It's never going to change.
Nope.
Yeah, I don't know. I have nothing to say on that. It's kind of like one of those things that you can't do anything about.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, it hurts other teams too. So
yeah,
exactly.
Whatever.
Yeah. 37th minute, Blom picks up a tactical yellow and he stops Toronto in their 20 minutes of really good form there. The last chance before is it the last chance? It's the last two chances. So 44th minute, Vasilev has an outswinging corner, and it's headed out of the box. Ezio Jackson settles one, lets it bounce, and then half volleys it like to the back corner of the goal, and it was a dead ball knuckle that had some dip, and it oh man,
it was moving and it looked nice.
If that ball goes in, that's goal of the season for City.
And it's off his weaker right foot when he takes that shot, but like that's just another thing, that creativity that he brings to the team, the ability to find those chances and just say, I'm hitting it.
He was feeling it.
Exactly. He was feeling himself throughout this game.
Yeah.
And it was showing.
And it didn't look like panicked or anything. Like he had composure over a very tough half volley chance there.
Yeah. It's impressive that he got it as close as he did. Honestly.
Yeah. Man, but it's plays like that where it's just like it's a feel for the game and like a fluidity in the whole motion of it that makes you understand why teams like Leverkusen are looking to sign him.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah.
And I mean, was one of the leaders in MLS Next Pro, goals and assists last year. He creates all the time, and he's comfortable taking those types of chances. And it's a good thing to have in the team.
Do you think he's the first player to get sold from City?
At this point, probably. I mean, he's 21. If he continues to get a good run of form, especially through this back half of the season with League Cups going on, with the playoff push that City's bound to be in, he's going to be one of those players that we're going to need to, if not rely on from the start, he's going to need to come on and make impact from the bench, even as a young player. He's already proving that he can be relied upon. And he generates, and he's drawn 2 or 3 penalties throughout the course of this season as well from different games. It's just kind of a different feel.
49th minute, Tim Parker, he loves to play these long balls over the top to our strikers. Sometimes it infuriates me because I
feel like he's not good at it most of the time.
Most of the time, it really doesn't work, you know. But this time, there's this one moment where he did it, and Gioacchini does well to not only like win the header in between 2 defenders, but also head it backwards from where he had won it. Right, like he wins it in the corner and out jumps 2 of these defenders, heads it perfectly backwards to Samuel Adeniran, who's running onto the ball.
In the middle of the box.
It's him and the keeper.
Unmarked.
There is no defender.
Yep.
I mean, it's barbecue chicken for a striker.
Oh, man.
You dream about it.
You need him
especially on your left. You've got it lined up. And good save. Props to the keeper getting to it and making that save. But even after the save, the ball's rolling towards the line. I'm at the Armory standing up. It's going in. Just easily cleared off.
Dude, the XG on that chance was 0.35. And then the post-shot model was 0.18.
Yeah.
So he shot it right at the goal.
Yeah, so he just didn't get a good shot off. And that brings me to my original point early on. He is on... I think he misses that chance because he did not shoot it with his right foot.
I do too.
In that case, you need to bend it back. You need to bend it back post, and I think like he just doesn't have the right foot to do, or the confidence with his right foot to do that.
I think but also you can't even say if Gioacchini's in that position because Gioacchini's the one creating the chance in the first place. Which those center backs, I don't know what they were smoking on that situation right there. 2 center backs going out to the right side to contest the same header.
Yeah.
That's outlandish.
Yeah. I need to look up how Gioacchini, how tall is Gioacchini?
Bro, he's got to be like 6'2".
I bet
6 foot? 6 foot.
Yeah.
6 foot. So in my head, the whole thing should have been a role reversal. Sam Adeniran playing on the left side should have won the long ball against the 2 defenders because he's taller, and 2, he's playing on the left side. Gioacchini should have been the one to run onto that header and score it. Do you think Gioacchini scores that with his right foot?
I want to say
if he gets that chance.
I want to hope yes.
I feel like either of those 2 strikers should be scoring that 90% of the time, and hopefully this is just like that, Adeniran, that 1 of 10 times that he misses it. Because like if he's gonna consistently miss those, like that is not good. That is not good for like.
And the striker competition coming up for St. Louis is only going to get more intense with Klaus coming back, hopefully around Leagues Cup time. We've got Gio in good form. We've got Klaus. I don't want Big Sam to go back to the bench, but we need these big moments. He needs to keep producing the way that we need him to.
I think it's inevitable. I think Sam has to go back to the bench. Like Klaus is not Klaus.
Klaus would have scored that 100%.
Yes.
Klaus
Either
scores
foot
that.
doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Drink.
I agree. We roll into halftime. Marshall Rudy gets another clear look after on goal, and he rips a shot wide in like the 49th minute.
That was kind of the tale of a lot of their chances.
Yeah.
Shots on the top of their box, just going wide.
Yep.
A few shots that were sent right at Berkey. Pretty comfortable saves. He ended up just snagging most of them. Didn't really create anything else from that.
Yeah. And first half, they outshot us. They had 10 shots to our 6. But then the second half, we were kind of talking about it in our group chat. We think Carnell must have just spoken the words of, our Lord and Savior himself.
Put the fear of God into them players.
Yeah.
He must have told them, listen, you're playing a bottom feeder Eastern Conference team.
Who have 11 players who can't play the game tonight.
Exactly. They're probably trotting out their second, borderline third string of players. I need you guys to get it right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it felt a lot like that LA Galaxy game where we have a goal, but it just doesn't feel like good. You know what I mean? And then
we hadn't scored at halftime yet, so it was even worse.
A little more.
Like, man, can we score one, please?
It's true. 50th minute, Gio tries to flick a ball onto Vasilev, and the Toronto defender like heads it back out towards his teammate. Akil Watts does really well to read the play and intercept that headed ball. He settles it, picks his head up, is not panicked, and he threads a beautiful ground pass to his roommate, Izziel Jackson, who's just lurking in the middle. He's got some space in the box. Jackson switches the ball to his left side of his foot. He's got 2 defenders. He's still got a lot of, even though he's in a good position, he's got a lot of work left to do. He's got 2 defenders standing him up. The goalkeeper waiting for the shot, anticipating the shot. And he just coolly megs the defender right in front of him and is able to slot the ball home.
Getting it in on that near post, too. And it was beautiful. All of the work involved in that goal.
Yeah.
Akil Watts playing that high defensive line, working up to recover possession. And then, even just the players not involved with it, Vasilev calling for the ball and then letting it run to Jackson, just creating that one little inch of space extra that he needed. And Jackson is just so quick on his feet with the way that he moves that ball. I love watching him play.
Yeah, that pass by Akil Watts took out 4 defenders, which was just like you love
neutralized.
To see it.
Yeah, and it was good to see Jackson get his first MLS goal right there.
And you could tell he was feeling it, man.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, a massive goal for the club. Like, we need to win that game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anything other than 3 points in Toronto versus a bottom feeder team like that is...
And especially when you're coming into the midweek game against LAFC, you need to go into that game on a high, or at least with some momentum.
Yeah.
And this was the kickstart that the team needed, and it just gave us that cushion to keep playing forward on the front foot for the rest of that second half.
Yep. And like I was saying, we got outshot the first half 10-6, but then the second half, I don't know if it came because of that goal, but we outshot them 11-2 in the second half.
Nice.
Yeah.
So we looked
we
so
were
much better. We looked so much better in that second half. And it seems like everybody settles in once you get that first goal.
Exactly. You can just kind of play a little bit more free-flowing from that point on.
Yeah.
Toronto's got to push out. They can't play as defensively as they're potentially looking for. The draw is no longer on the line. At least the 0-0 draw is not on the line.
Yeah. Yeah. Brings me to my next point about a player who I felt like did not have his greatest game, and I don't feel has been in the greatest form. AZ Jackson in the 52nd minute passes to Stroud, who takes it out on the left side, and he's trying to create something out of nothing. And I think it's a poor shot choice. He just kind of skies one over the keeper. It just didn't look good. There's a lot of backspin on the shot.
I know just the chance you're talking about, and it's on his weak foot. There's a defender right in front of him. He's 30 yards away from goal. It's just a very questionable decision by him, if you ask me.
It's one of those ones where to shoot it and to have it saved is something, but then to just totally
Blast
field goal it
Yeah.
it makes it doesn't look very
And
good
especially
on
because,
film.
like, I feel like we had the numbers there where he could have stopped the play.
Oh, yeah.
Let someone overlap, draw the defender, maybe cut back in and shoot with his right, or find an open player because, like I said, it was probably 5v4 or something similar with our players outnumbering them. So, yeah, just a terrible decision, I think. And I agree, Stroud has not been, in form recently.
No, he hasn't. And I think part of it is him. We've been playing this 4-1-2-1-2. So, I mean,
4-4-2 diamond.
4-4-2 diamond formation. And we've been relying on Stroud to play one of those more 8 roles, and it's clearly not his position.
He wants to be a winger. He wants to run. He wants to get the ball into the box, create like that. And in the current formation that we have right now, it just doesn't seem to best utilize his skill set.
No, it calls for him to hold the ball and distribute the ball in an 8 role, and you can see. I mean, the writing's on the wall. Leuven played. He scrimmaged in practice the other day. He'll obviously be worked in gradually. He's not going to get he probably won't start, but he'll get, 30 minutes at the end, 20 minutes at the end of the next few games. Carnell said that Leuven is a possibility versus LAFC on
Love
Wednesday.
to hear that.
We need him.
He's not going to play a whole game though. But the writing. What I was going to say is the writing's on the wall for Stroud to be out in that position. I love this formation. I think it's working. I think you got to stick with it, and Leuven's going to slot right in, and that is a dangerous team. Dangerous team.
What I'm really excited about right now is prior to Leuven's injury, Vasilev was in a really good run of form at the 10.
Yeah.
We've now seen Azil put up back-to-back really good performances from that same position. Who's going to play in that 10 position for us, and who's going to shift out to the wing? Because you'd imagine Leuven and Blom are going to be our 2 8s essentially, with Blom playing back. But it's really who's going to occupy that left side of the field now.
Something that I saw on Twitter after last night's game, and that kind of had to do with the halftime team talk. So I actually saw 2 points. One, Akil Watts was asked to play like much tighter to that Marshall Ruddy guy, and that really seemed to work. I mean, he probably had like 1 or 2 shots after that, but he did not have the time or the space, and he didn't really get any successful dribbles. So that worked. And then something else that they talked about was switching from a 4-4-2 diamond midfield to kind of like a box midfield.
Yep.
So
Where they have 2 6s and 2 10s, basically.
Yeah, so I didn't really, I guess, notice it. Like, I wasn't paying enough attention during a game to really notice it. But, like, if we do kind of incorporate that box midfield, I'm guessing it's going to be Leuven and Blom at the base, like you said, and then Vasilev and Aziel Jackson, like, kind of more attacking. And
both of those players can shade out wide and create the width that you want from the attack and still run through the middle.
Yeah, I don't think they didn't switch until the subs came in like the 67th. So you had Alm come on for Joachini, Nervinsky on for Watts, Miggy on for Indiana. And I think it was Blom and Miggy sitting in the 2-6 roles, 2-6 positions. And then you still had AZ and Stroud up there.
Yeah. I don't think Stroud can. He needs to be on a wing.
Yeah,
that's his only.
It's true,
because he can't pass the ball. That's his problem. Like, honestly, I think Ostrak probably should have been brought on for him.
Yeah,
how he keeps getting the full 90-minute runs is not baffling to me, but I do want to see. We have the attacking depth to make those substitutions to give other people some run of minutes. Stroud is just locked in there. He gets his 90.
He's
not
Someone
coming
said
out.
He must have some blackmail on Coach Coach Carnell.
Dude, I think we are a little bit harsh on him because he's a chaos merchant and he's a work rate merchant, and it's not even like. I'm not even saying that in a negative way. Like, you need guys like that on your team.
And especially for the style of play that City plays. He matches the blueprint to a T.
Yes.
He is the blueprint.
So I'm not surprised that he gets his 90 because he will put in the high press shift all 90, and that's really good.
That's probably what the other attackers are missing to not get the run that they are looking for.
Yeah.
Is that full roundness to what they bring to the team.
Once we get AZ up to snuff with his fitness, man, that's a 90 out of him. That'll be nice. But I will say, like, I was a little bit no, I wasn't like, I don't know what the word is. It's not baffled, but I was a little bit concerned whenever we brought in the 67th minute when we brought that wave of substitutions because we're only up by 1.
Yeah.
We're taking Gioacchini out.
Yeah.
Taking out Watts, who I thought was doing much better in that second half, and yeah, I don't know. It was a little bit risky. Miggy for Indiana. I was like, whoa.
That
you know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. The substitutions, the flavor of them was defense for sure.
Yeah.
We were holding it in. We really wanted to get that point or those 3 points from the win. And we were just trying to secure it from that second half, I feel like, from those subs.
Yeah. And then another part of it that kind of occurred to me is that maybe it's minutes tempering because they know they have the midweek game. Yeah. So they want to have Vasilev fresh. They want to have Gioacchini fresh. They probably want to have Watts fresh. He probably gets that start.
I would think so at this point. When it comes to our left and right backs, you see Hebert has evolved his game so much, even since MLS Next Pro last year, and being asked to play this different position on this left side, left back, and he, even though what he doesn't bring to attack, he is so good in defense and playing on that high foot, always pressuring the other team high up the pitch and regaining those possessions in those dangerous areas. He does his job.
And I will say, I feel like he's gotten more comfortable playing higher up the pitch with the ball. Like,
definitely.
He's definitely not the type of guy to, like, take a shot ever. Like, I don't think I've seen him shoot the ball a single time.
Unless he's heading it.
Yeah, true.
Different.
But, like, I think Nelson and Nerwinski would take shots. You know, like, they're more thinking. But Hebert, like, he can hold the ball and he can find the open man, and he can even play, I feel like, a line-splitting through pass in behind the back line when he has it, which I think is something that he's developed over the past, like, couple weeks, because even at the start of the season, like you said, he didn't have any of that.
Exactly.
Yeah, and, I mean, he talked about how he's developing his left foot so that he can become more of a person who can cross from that left side. This is a perfect segue into the chance in the 77th minute. Hebert plays a ball over the top into right at the top of the key of the Toronto box. It's headed from Alm to Adinaran, back out from Adinaran to AZ, who chests it down to Alm, and Alm half volleys one into the ground. Not really the most like lethal or dangerous chance, but it was just like a nice link-up play that included Hebert in the attack that I wanted to touch on. So,
definitely.
It would have been a crazy goal if he had scored that.
Oh, yeah.
It was outside the box on a full volley.
Yeah.
I mean,
it reminds me of the goal that he scored, or the attempt earlier in the season when he just hit that missile off the post and then doinked to the keeper and went back in. I think that was Cincy.
Could have been, yeah.
But yeah, it was.
Yeah, he's always a player that's looking to score those half volleys, half chances, put it on target.
There was another chance where the ball fell to Miggy, and he attempted a full volley, and he sent it like 30 feet straight up into the air.
But what a good player to be learning under when you're in Miggy's position, getting able to get reps with Bloom, who's a incredible 6 in the MLS, who's shown his value time and time again. Yeah. He just needs to be looking at him like homework. Just study that man's game.
Be able to turn, get out of. He always beats that first line of pressure.
He's so
on
strong.
Him. He's so good at it.
Yeah.
He's just always able to make that first move to beat his man.
Since he's been back from injury, he has been such a key part of the team in the way that he just circulates our possession, keeps the ball, and then just stops attacks. Like even with that yellow card earlier in the game, noticing what chances are really dangerous, stopping them, taking that tactical yellow. He knows it.
I will say at the start of like the first half of this game, Blom had a couple instances where like he misplayed a ball. Like it just happened a couple times, like 2 or 3. Or like he would take a bad touch or something. And I was like, man, I'm not used to seeing this. And I feel like Blom having that off half is what led to the whole team, being kind of worse.
We were in
first half.
Canada, and we needed to get some Dunkin' Donuts because that
Yep.
first half we
Tim
were looking
Hortons.
a little slow. Yeah,
They
Tim
needed
Hortons.
to hit up
There
Tim
it
Hortons.
is.
Oh man, 82nd minute, Celio Pompeo comes on for Jackson, and immediately makes an impact. There's in the 84th minute, we're doing our high press. It was good to see Adeniran forces a bad pass. Still in the 84th minute, he's got his fitness and he's still pressing high. Celio is quick to pick up on that, and he gets the ball, drives, gets shifty with the defender in the box. I thought he was unlucky to score, actually, because he shoots with his left foot, and he's going for the roof shot, and I thought he executed it pretty much to a T.
How you're supposed to.
Yeah.
It was one of those saves from the goalie where he just throws the right hand up just in this big sweep to try and just get as much volume as you can out of it.
Yeah.
And, he got fingertips, pushed it over. But it was a really good chance, and especially the footwork for sending that defender. He was falling back.
Yeah,
he created all space.
Bad.
Stumbling backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah. Looking like he was hitting the moonwalk or
I
something.
swear.
I thought the goalie was lucky to save that.
I do too.
It didn't feel like it was composed.
It's an eyes closed, arm up type situation.
You just pray.
Yeah.
But I will say, I feel like Adeniran working for that ball is something that's like kind of underappreciated because like even the first half, I was like kind of thinking to myself, man, it doesn't really look like we're pressing that hard. And then he's pressing even harder in the 84th minute. Like, I don't know. It just seemed like everyone stepped up a notch.
Definitely.
In the last
there was
20
a
minutes.
fire lit, and they were really hungry. And you saw it from pretty much every player. We were pushing for that second goal all throughout, from pretty much the 60th minute onward. We were really looking for it.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah, I mean, we said that Stroud gets his 90. He got his 90, but he did come off in the 90th minute for Isak Jensen. So
Count it.
yeah, I don't know. We were talking about it a little bit before the pod. What do you guys think of Isak Jensen?
He's a young man. He's adapting to a new league. I'll give him time.
Yeah,
But I would like to see a bit more from him, even for the performances that he puts in for City 2. I want to see contributions, assists, chances created, goals, because that's what he's here for.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Hopefully he can get it down, Pat. Maybe just work on that technique a little bit more, physicality as well.
Yeah. I think Carnell said he was training really well with the team. So, he keeps getting these couple minutes here and there, sub in. But he really hasn't done anything. So,
I
don't know.
I think Leagues Cup is going to be a chance where he is going to get a little bit of a run of minutes to really try and round out his form in these, because we're going from a pretty packed schedule now to it's going to open up in the coming months with the Leagues Cup competition. And I think with the players that are coming back from injury, a lot of them we're not going to want to risk too badly to overload them with work. And so I think that's going to be a time when a couple of these fringe players are going to be able to try and make a case for the second half of the season and make an impact down the stretch.
Yeah. And he's also only 19.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. A young man.
like, AZL Jackson needed some time. So, hopefully it's the same case with Isak Jensen. So,
Definitely.
yeah.
So,
Overall, I felt like it was we got the job done. It wasn't the most convincing game or win, but
we were
Toronto
creating the chances. We should have had more.
I agree. Absolutely.
If there was ever a bogey game that we would have dropped points to, that's what I was scared of. Because looking at the Toronto lineup, you see how diminished it is. And just the thought of even coming away with 1 point almost makes you sick thinking about it. And it almost makes me think that a few of the players came into that first half thinking that they were just going to dog walk this Toronto team.
Yeah.
And
Definitely.
that was not the case. And like Jonah said earlier, a lot of those players on Toronto were really working hard to kind of make a name for themselves, make a case to start for the coming games that they've got.
Yep.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Overall, 0.49 expected goals from Toronto, and we had 1.38. So
Nice.
the stats check out.
Exactly. It's all there.
I think it could have been much more, but
It could have been ugly.
Thanks.
for
So
sure.
Berkey, I feel like 0.49 makes it seem like Berkey didn't have that much to do, but I still think he had a good night as well.
He did too.
Yeah.
When it comes to just stopping the attacks through that first half, just even though the shots may not have been the most threatening, he was still always in the right spaces, never leaving the ball, never giving up second chances. And even in the second half of the game, he had one or two really nice saves.
Yeah,
to
agreed.
Just keep the momentum rolling, giving us a shot to get those 3 points. And that's what he's an X factor for this team. I feel like it's something super, maybe not underappreciated, but man, his impact cannot be understated.
Yeah, and I think it's mental too. Like Berkey just brings like that legitimacy maybe that these young professionals haven't had before, where they're just like, oh, this is how we go about it. This is what it means to be a pro.
It's like the chant in the supporter section, the Berkey in your head chant.
Oh, I love that chant. That's one of my favorites.
It's great. And hearing it like on corner kicks, and even when he like comes out and snags it with the crowd doing that chant, you almost feel for the other team. Like he is in our head.
He really is.
Rent free.
Yeah. I feel like our whole defense got a really good game. Besides Akil Watt's first half getting cooked by Marshall Reddy, I think other than that, he turned it around second half. Yarrow, Parker, Hebert all had great games too.
Yeah.
Yarrow, super underappreciated. Just because he plays like a center back role that you're like, and he's not like the big bruiser. Like Tim Parker is such a force on the field that you're like, all right, he's winning aerial duels. He's throwing people to the ground. He's picking up yellows. He's just like a big presence. Yarrow, just underrated in my opinion.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. I think he should be our second center back with Parker right now.
The current form that he's playing in, and got to give him flowers. Was iced essentially throughout the first half of this first part of the season. Didn't get hardly any run, and now comes in 2 games back-to-back clean sheets, and he looks to be a really good partner with Parker, especially when Parker plays that aggressive center back style where he's coming up off that back line, trying to stop those attacks early. If it doesn't come out or end up working, Yara's been really good at maintaining position and just stopping attacks.
And he looks really good with the ball too.
Yes.
Like he's
smooth.
surprisingly shifty like with the ball. Like he's always throwing the if someone's pressing him, like that striker will get sent for a hot dog.
Yeah. Body feints for days.
Yeah. I do love that. While Berkey is living rent free in the other opposition's head, there is a place where rent is never free. And it's far from it actually, and that would be L.A.
Man,
where the rent is astronomical. And I will say they're playing pretty bad football as of late. Yeah, they've dropped. Well, past 4 games, they've lost 3 and they tied. They're just coming off a tie with San Jose yesterday. So, glad we're catching them in this run of form. We're also on the up. They're kind of on the slide, but it's not like it's a walk in the park at all. This is a legitimate team.
LAFC have one of the deepest rosters in the league, and through this last stretch of games since they got knocked out of CCL, they have been heavily underperforming for what they're expected to do. And they even just recently got rid of one of their DP players, so they're going to be on the market, probably not in time for the City game, but they're looking for players to come in and make immediate impact for the second half of the season.
Yeah, they are only 5 games back. For the longest time, we had a game in hand on them, and now it's 21 played. So this match on Wednesday is a massive deal.
This is one that can hopefully, it hasn't happened yet, but a win against LAFC will definitely be giving the team a megaphone, announcing to the league that we are real deal.
Yeah.
We are a threat coming to the playoffs.
Yeah, definitely. Especially considering the fact that it's in LA and they have probably the best supporter section.
Yep.
Like, not taking anything away from St. Louis or any other
I still
team.
think we have the best.
I love ours. The flavor.
Ours is great.
But the West also just has a lot of good teams, or in terms of supporter sections. You think of LAFC, Austin has a great.
And you know what I think it is? Like, when you look at the St. Louis supporter section, it's all white people. You know what I mean?
Oh, man.
Like it's all like mild mannered, Midwestern folks.
Yeah, you're saying we need like a little bit of flair.
We need that extra.
No, we
flair.
have the Santos supporters section
That's
as
true.
well.
And
That's
they
true.
do
They
rock
bring-
that
They
shit.
carry.
They
a
do
supporter
also
section.
carry. It's
They
true.
carry hard.
If you think about the population in LA and Austin,
Yeah.
I feel like we're at a disadvantage here. That's all I'm saying.
When it comes to atmosphere.
All right, St. Louis, step it up. I don't know. Dude, what I can't get over is the T-Rav face thing. I'm just not here for it. Maybe that's a hot take. Maybe that's like, call it hate. Call it what you want. It's just not my it's not my cup of tea. It's just too it goes along with what you're saying. It's just too like
It's too easy to pick it out and be like we're really gonna base one of our identities off of a toasted food.
Toasted ravioli and appetizer.
But I gotta admit,
like
the first guy, whoever made it, he's already a city icon.
yeah, good for him.
And I think if it's different for him to wear it to every game, like that's his thing. Like
Yeah.
I respect that, but like no one else needs to be doing that. Like.
No. Let him rock his own thing.
If we invented the mozzarella stick, would we all be wearing mozzarella stick
Probably,
costumes?
it probably. It's
Like-
knowing St. Louis. I agree, though. I think I want a little bit more fire. We're supposed to be the gateway to hell.
I know.
Let's make it that way.
We need some.
I want some tridents.
flares.
Yeah.
Some smoke bombs.
some devil magic.
Also, one other thing about the atmosphere during the city pre-games, we always do the flickering lights and all like the
It's
light show.
crazy.
And it's insane.
Yeah.
It gives you such a crazy feeling. I want that incorporated after goals.
Oh yeah.
I
oh
want
yeah.
that.
Why isn't that?
That's what I'm saying. Give it that flash. Put those flares behind it.
Yeah.
I mean, give us a log like the Timbers. Something fun.
Yeah, man. No, I completely agree. They started doing that in baseball. Well, there's like flashing the lights and
The
like,
red lights
Oh,
for when
yeah.
Halsey was coming out.
Exactly. It should be very much the same thing.
I
Dang.
agree.
It's a good take. We're up against like probably I think the most formidable attacking three in all of the MLS
Definitely.
here. But on a positive, and we can go through who those are. Let me pull up their lineup. It's Bowanga, Vela, and Apoku.
And admittedly, Vela is, maybe not running to the end of his career, but he doesn't have that MVP level drive that he had in his first couple of seasons. But Bounga, or however you pronounce that
Bounga,
name,
yeah.
that man has been eating this season.
12 goals on the
He is
season.
eating.
And you say Vela's having a down year, but he
But he's
is
still
for himself.
good.
He's still got six
He's
goals.
still very good. And
Yeah,
very
and
productive.
4 assists. So
exactly. He's still one of the main creators on that team, and he's a constant threat to do
Yeah.
something different.
So it'll be interesting to see. So they kind of move. Sometimes Vela is on the right side because he's got that famous left foot. Sometimes they'll play him in the middle. It'll be interesting to see. I will take. You can hear it here first. I will take Kyle Hebert over Carlos Vela
Let's have him
Kyle
line up at the
Hebert?
skill challenge.
I see what you're saying.
As-
in the matchup,
as a matchup. I'll take Kyle Hebert versus anybody in the MLS.
I'll
I
line
really
him-
feel that way about Kyle
Line
Hebert.
him up. Give
Messi?
him 10 reps.
Messi
Yes.
versus Hebert, who's coming out on top.
All right, Messi winning that one.
Shout out to Bloom
maybe.
boys. Bloom over Messi.
True,
Dude.
honestly.
Uh,
Spitting facts.
It will be interesting to see how Akil Watts, if he gets the start, fares against Boanga.
It's gonna be a nervy game for sure.
Luongo, he's the middle, right?
He can play the middle, but they also have him play on the left side. They play a 4-3-3 pretty consistently throughout the whole season.
Very USMNT style lineup.
Yes, yeah. Well, isn't that who's their coach? What's the name of him?
Mr.
Chirundolo.
Chirundolo. Yeah.
Funny name.
Steven.
Come here, Steven. I don't know. I think we're in for a really great matchup on Wednesday. I
Me
think
too.
I'm glad that both teams had to play like kind of on short notice. Not short notice, but they both have a midweek game. It's
Exactly. I think we're gonna see rotation from both squads. Whether we see the full strength LAFC, regardless,
Hopefully they rotate Buanga out.
heavily rotated.
tough to see that happening.
I agree.
Is Kellen Acosta? He was hurt, right?
Yeah, and
is he back?
I think he's still hurt, but like
He didn't play
they
their
have
last game.
midfielders that have stepped up, and I mean they signed Timothy Tillman from the 2 Bundesliga, from
Is he the good one, or is his brother the good one?
Malik is a really good one. He's the one that's on loan from Bayern right now
And where does he's on loan from Bayern
to
to
Rangers, and that loan has
right,
gone
right.
up, and he'll they're both good, but Timothy was it's kind of the same deal. Highly rated Bayern prospect, got iced out of the team, sold pretty quick. Had
Is
a
he the
few
younger
good years.
brother?
Older.
Timothy is the older one?
Mhm.
Okay. Interesting. But he didn't declare for the U.S., and Malik did.
Yes, but I do also think that Timothy Tillman, I might be talking out of my you-know-what here, but he might have filed a one-time switch because he was on the provisional Gold Cup roster for us. Hopefully he's got another arrogant little statement like he did before the CCL match that had him with egg on his face before ours. So
what did he say before?
Mexican teams do not play with tactics, only heart.
Oh God.
And then they lost, what,
And then
4-0?
they lost.
That's a bad look right there.
Very bad take from
Golly.
Man,
Boy.
what an idiot, honestly.
Quick injury report before the game. They got Sergi Palencia missing with a muscle injury. Maxime Crepeau missing. Crepeau, Frenchman. Jesus Murillo is also missing. And then while St. Louis, you guys already know who was out. Joao Klaus, Joachim Nilsson, Edward Leuven.
It's so refreshing that Leuven is going to be coming back from his injury on schedule, unlike Nielsen and Klaus, who
unlike
are both
freakish
plus-
delays.
plus 2 months.
I mean, knock on wood. Who knows, honestly.
I don't know. I heard all week that
Yeah.
Leuven was pushing to play against Toronto, and they wouldn't let him. So I think
And
he's
he's been in
trying to
full team training for the
Yeah.
past week, so he's at least getting reps at that level.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
probably not fit for a full 90, but
certain to play a half, I would guess,
I would also probably
or at least
think
30
that.
minutes. At least 30 minutes.
I'd love to see that out of a player, especially because he knows how big of a game this LAFC game is for
Pivotal.
City.
And especially
Yeah.
because we dropped those points early on in the season to Seattle. That's one of our
Yeah.
other main contenders
Yeah.
that we're playing against. Getting even just a point off of this game will look way better for City than it does for LAFC.
Seattle has 35 points. We have 38, but they have played one more game than we have. So
Mhm.
bodes well for us. I'm going to check the schedule.
We're
And-
only 7 points behind Cincinnati.
I was about to say, we're coming for that shield, Cincy.
Yeah, they tied yesterday.
Yup.
They were losing though 2-0. I saw,
know.
and then they ended 2-2.
Lucho Acosta, newly announced American, nationalized citizen, scoring an outrageous goal to bring it back. But
So I don't know.
yeah, I don't know really what to expect from Cincy. In my opinion, they've been overperforming, but that is also just indicative of a really good team is to get those points.
Yep, they were able to. You mentioned yesterday how they win a lot of 1-goal games, but I mean it's football, and
you
if
got to
you're able,
grind those out.
you're able to get your goal, and then you're able to sit back and defend it like City did the other day.
Yup, it's important.
Yeah, it is important. St. Louis plays Seattle for the second time with the last game of the season, so it's fixing for
Make or break.
It really
finish.
is. It really is. And then we play LAFC for the second time September 20th. So another late in the schedule, massive games. So
Good thing we got a couple games against Sporting KC there to pad our stats.
Exactly.
definitely, and Inter coming up. So
Yep.
Our favorite punching bags in the league, SKC.
oh yeah.
Don't let Cavincio hear that.
What do you guys think? Do you think there's a change to the lineup? If so, who? And then also I want to hear your score predictions for Wednesday.
When it comes to the lineup, I could maybe see Alm getting the nod over Stroud. Stroud going another pretty intense workload. He did the full 90 in Colorado, full 90 yesterday. I think one of our wingers is at least in line for rotation. Probably not Miggy being starting. I think we're still going to see Bloom in the midfield. I think we'll see Lowen through the first half. Whether or not he's fit enough to go into the second half, I think that's probably when we're going to see Miggy come on to play. And then that 10 spot is, I just think, totally up in the air between Vass or Azil. But I just want both of them in.
I'm sure both of them will play.
Yeah,
I
do too.
Do you think it's the same formation? Do you think it's a diamond? Do you think it's a diamond midfield, or do you think it's more of the box, like what he played in the second after the subs came on Saturday?
I could see a change in formation. I could see two changes. I think we could revert to one striker and play a 4-2-3-1, just to give us some more strength in the midfield against a good LAFC side, especially because Adeniran played the full 92, right? He didn't get subbed. So
yeah, he did.
He might be, benched for us just to add another midfielder. Another thing is we might try 5 at the back, because that's what we did against Seattle. And that was the first time we ever tried it, and obviously it didn't work. We lost 3-0. But I feel like we've been experimenting more. So, I wouldn't be too surprised to see like a 3 center back or,
I wouldn't either. And especially with Watts kind of coming into form right now and being a dynamic presence on that right side, you still have Hebert, who maybe attacking wise doesn't give you what you want from a left wing back, but still the way he defends high up on the field and generates those chances via turnovers kind of does play into a similar game plan. So
I think if you do go 5 in the back, Hebert does not play the left wing back position. I think it's one thing to play left back, but when you're playing, like, I think
the
Hebert,
wing back,
I think he
totally
would.
Different
I think Hebert starts. He would just be one of the 3 center backs that would play there.
Yarrow, Parker, Hebert, probably Johnny coming back into the team.
I feel like when we've had 3 in the back before, it's been Bartlett, Yarrow, Parker, or at least the most recent times we've done it. So I wonder, like, for me, I would not want Hebert to miss this game for John Nelson.
No.
So if that's the only option to play 5 in the back, then I do not want to see 5 in the back.
I think Bartlett's the odd man out in that situation.
I think he should be, but I don't know.
It would be Hebert, Yarrow, Parker is our 3.
I don't know. Has Hebert played in a back 3?
Let's pull up the most state stats.
Yeah, let's see what he was
I don't think it really matters. Like, he's playing center back, you know what I mean? And his job is to lock up Carlos Vela. Like,
and pretty much the entire back line is going to have their work cut out for him. They're going to need to.
It really is.
They're going to need to dig deep, I think.
I hope we stick with the 4-2-3-1, because the 4 in the back, it's a system that we all know, we're all familiar with. Hebert and everyone else has been playing really well, and I think that he can continue to do that against, even though it's the best front 3 in the league, arguably, that we're facing.
I hope to see the 4-4-2 diamond midfield formation again. I think we've just looked real solid with that
running 2 strikers, and especially with like players like. I feel like Giacchini in particular really thrives off of being that second striker in a 2-striker formation, kind of being able to shade a little bit deeper down and get the ball in like these odd areas. I think it really suits his game for creating chances and scoring goals.
It's true.
I completely agree. He's also due, man. He's due for a goal versus a big LAFC.
Man, how nice would it feel?
Oh, man. All right, score predictions. What do you guys have?
Realistically, I'm going to probably be the wet blanket. I'm going to say 1-1 or maybe 1-0. I think it's going to be super, super tight. I don't know if there's going to be a lot of goals that get scored throughout this game, especially if we do line up with a more defensive-heavy lineup.
Is LA a possession team?
Yeah.
So that could work in our favor.
Yes,
depending
sometimes.
on how
sometimes we've gone into games where they've, like, especially that Seattle game, I just remember being like, they're averaging like 65% possession. This is gonna go perfect, and then they just punched us.
See, but even Toronto last night were playing really well with possession.
Yes,
like they were just beating our press with ease. So yeah, sometimes it's not just like, we're not guaranteed to win just because they play possession,
just because the other team plays an opposing style.
Yeah. So I don't know. I am also not super optimistic about this game. I probably expect a tie as well. 1-1 would be my guess.
I think this is a really good matchup. I think both of these teams are really evenly matched. in different ways.
Yes, in a totally different ways.
Yeah, like they're great at their possession game, and we're great at our press game. I'd say we're elite in these two play styles, and Carnell will probably say the same thing he always says, where it's like who sticks to their principles better.
Exactly.
It's a completely different story than like a Toronto team that plays possession style or a Sporting KC team that plays possession style, but they have no bite to them. This is that style but working. So I'm gonna be optimistic. I say we win 2-1, and I think Gio has a goal, and I think Celio has a goal.
I like that.
Yeah.
Celio is also one of those players, going back to like a 5-in-the-back formation. He can kind of play that wing-back position
true.
as an
on
option.
the left
I
side.
would not like to see him there.
Really?
I mean, it's definitely not his favorite position, but if that's the way that we get a winger into the team, then it might be the move.
See, I think with a 4-2-3-1, that's what I would like to see happen. So same back four that we've seen, Vasilev, Blom playing that 6 or those 2 8s. Unless Leuven's ready, then he would start. And then Aziel Jackson, center mid, Celio on the left, Alm on the right, and Gio up top.
I like that.
That's what I would like to see. And then if Leuven's back, he comes in, pushes Vasilev over to the right wing, and Alm goes back to the bench.
Have we seen Vasilev start on the wing yet?
I want to say it has happened earlier
Maybe
on in
once.
this season.
Yeah.
I think a couple games, like before we started that 4-4-2 diamond, like this past run of 4-4-2 diamond, he also had one game there, and he looked pretty good.
And that's a good thing about our attacking depth is we've got a lot of players who are flex in different positions who can shift centrally and out wide, which is it gives us options, gives us a lot of room to play with.
Yeah.
No Chiellini in their last game against San Jose.
Keep it that way.
Was that international related?
He's too. Is he?
know.
He's playing it. He's playing for the Italian side.
I have no clue.
I think he's too old.
I was
He's
going to
probably
say
retired.
I would have think he was iced out of
Yeah.
that team by now.
Kellen Kosa did play.
Okay, so he is back.
Yeah. Vela didn't start, but he subbed on. So they were probably resting him so he's nice and fresh against St. Louis. Don't worry, we got Hebert. We're not scared.
Bloom definitely over Acosta. I think that's a midfield battle. I'd be willing to. That's actually just going to be a complete battle.
Yeah.
Those are two destroyer type players who love to go at it and disrupt the flow of the game.
Yeah.
I'll take Blom over everybody but Messi.
Pretty much.
Yep.
At
And I'll
this
take
point.
I'll take Hebert over everybody but Messi.
Mhm.
So feeling good. 2-1, 1-1, or
No, I'm going to say 1-0.
1-0. Them, us.
Us.
Okay.
1-1 tie.
1-1. All right. Hope to see it Wednesday. The cards will shake out how they shake out. Anything else?
Gold Cup, we play
Gold Cup?
Canada?
Gold Cup, we play Canada.
Is this the semifinal?
This is
Quarterfinal?
the quarterfinals. I think we're going to roll them. I really don't think it's going to be close. This Canadian roster, I mean, it is competitive. It's just about at the same level as what the players that we brought up, but they barely scraped by the group stage with like a last-minute win against Guadalupe. Or no, it was Cuba, I think. But like, if you just look at the performances through the group stage, our team is playing at a much higher level, I think.
She's
Yeah.
Ferreira in form.
Super in form, plundering the high seas.
Unfortunately,
Canada's next.
Unfortunately for us, Canada is not a Caribbean island, so
He's going to make them one.
Ferreira will score 0 goals.
He will have no impact.
He'll be as silent as he was against the Dutch in the World Cup.
Nightmare game.
Oh, my God. I don't even want to think about it. All right. Well, thank you for joining us. We will see you guys here back on Thursday after the game. Thanks for tapping in. Peace.
Thank you for watching this episode of Soul of the City, brought to you by First Touch Media and Anchor FM. Make sure to check us out on YouTube at First Touch Media, and all of our socials are at First Touch 314. Thank you for watching.